Welcome back to Baseline Fresh Detailing. On this video, we're going to focus on how to clean glass. In this case, I have a nice white Acura with some sort of residue on this front glass. It's become oily and sticky, and I think it's due to the rubber from a bad pair of wiper blades that sort of melted and leached off all of its oil onto this glass. So more on that coming in the video, but as you can see from these before photos, on both sides of the glass, it's pretty dirty. We have a visible layer of residue here, and then on the inside, we have a phone suction cup that has left a mark, so we're going to have to clean that up. Once we've taken a look at how bad it is, I actually tried to spray it with some regular washer fluid, use the wipers, try to see if we can get it off, and just to give you guys an example of how the liquid looks when the residue is on the glass. And we can compare that with the aftershots and see what kind of difference there is. So as we can see, even the wiper blades and the washer fluid is not removing this residue. It might be a little bit hard to pick up on the camera, but visually you can see all of these defects. Give your glass a nice little pre-spray, and then we can go in and spray on some isopropyl alcohol. This is 70% alcohol. It's 2 parts water, 1 part alcohol in a spray bottle. I had already tried regular old glass cleaner, so using this iso alcohol should be one of your next steps when your usual things don't work. Remember, like, follow, and subscribe. Thanks for watching Baseline Fresh. As we can see here, there's a perfect example of this residue creating a hydrophobic barrier on this glass. Even though it's hard to see usually visually, we have a nice square patch here where the water is not flowing properly. You can see whatever's built up here is actually resisting the water. So first, we're just going to see how bad this glass really is. I'm going to take a microfiber towel that's been soaked in some APC and Maguire's Gold Glass, and I'm going to use my plastic tool here. It's very soft plastic. It's almost like a plastic razor blade, but a little bit more softer. I'm going to rub it against the glass while it's a bit wet and see if that residue builds up on the edge of my tool. That can show us just how big that layer is, just how much is built up on there, and it'll give us an idea of how much we have to clean. So as you can see here, I tried a patch at the top of the glass, and then I moved down to where the wiper blades usually rest. There really was a lot of residue here. It's very difficult to see on the GoPro camera, but you can see it building up on the edge of that orange tool and coming off as I scrape away at it. Remember to take that wet cloth and lubricate the area every once in a while. Make sure it doesn't dry out. Keep adding water and scraping away. As you can see here, there's a clear difference between where I just scraped and how the water's reacting on an area that I'm just applying this cleaning solution to. Going on to the other side of the glass here, continuing on and just scraping away, trying to get that residue out. A little bit of backstory on this car. This Acura TL was actually sitting in the garage for months on end during the winter and the summer, and what I think happened was there was a bad quality wiper blades on there, and just over time, because they stayed in one spot on the glass for such a long time, it sort of got stuck there, and during the summer months when it's really hot, that oil will be released from the rubber on these wiper blades. It lets out this oil over time, and then when they finally went to go use the wiper blades and drive the car around, using them just spread it all across the glass. That's why you can see the layers are really bad where the wiper blades sit, but across the glass it's just a thin layer on the outer edges and around the top. So I had already exterior detailed this car before, and it did help with the residue, and then the owner switched the wiper blades, but over time the owner told me that it sort of came back, so this is why I'm doing a deeper clean on this glass. So once you've pre-sprayed your glass, you can go in with a couple sprays of this isopropyl alcohol and then use a tight-knit coarse microfiber to basically scrub in there and get all of that residue off. I'm applying light to medium pressure, and I'm wrapping this microfiber around my fingers to get the most amount of control. So apply some ISO to your microfiber and then also do a couple sprays on the glass, and then just work away in sections. We're working in the open sun. It's a little bit windy on that day, so you want to work quickly, make sure it doesn't dry up on you. Pay attention to the exterior trim around the edge. That rubber and that plastic just on the edges of the glass, it can actually be affected by the ISO if you leave it for too long. This is why we dilute it in the bottle, and then I also pre-spray with water, and I make sure when I quickly wipe it down, I'm soaking it with water right after. Get your hose or get a separate spray bottle with water, give it a thorough rinse. Make sure it doesn't linger on those plastics and those rubber. The iso alcohol works great at cleaning on glass, but it reacts with the rubber and it might eat away at it and discolor it or dry it out from the natural oils. So as we keep going, you'll see I actually flip my towel every once in a while. You can see there's a dark spot there from all of the buildup. We are actually pulling this residue off, and it's leaving this mark, this stain in our microfiber. Remember, like, follow, and subscribe. Thanks for watching Baseline. The glass. Remember to work in sections, work quickly, and make sure you remember where you last left off. Apply your iso alcohol and remove that residue. This also works for basically any other type of dirt or grime that might be on your glass. It doesn't have to be for oily residue. Iso alcohol works great on a lot of different things. You can use it for tree sap if you park under a tree. Just it's safe on glass and on your paintwork as long as you soak it with water afterwards and work quickly. Take a Q-tip or take your microfiber, spray it with the ISO. It works really well. If you have overspray from various chemicals, iso alcohol also works well at getting rid of those. Once you're finished, give it a good soak down. In my experience, all you need is really a good soak down with varying pressure, but if you want to be on the safe side, give your car a proper wash or use some car soap in a spray bottle, and you can just go after it. Remember, like, follow, and subscribe. Thanks for watching Baseline Fresh. On the interior of this Acura TL, the glass is not that bad. It has a tiny dirty spot where the suction cup of a phone holder used to be, so that's an area that we'll need to clean thoroughly, but otherwise this is just a quick wipe along the entire front windshield. We're using our ISO alcohol first and then going back over with an O&R wipe. In this case, I'm not going to spray the ISO alcohol directly onto the glass. In the interior of a car, there's too much rubber and plastics around that might get overspray on them. If you let the ISO alcohol sit on some of these different materials, there's a chance it could discolor it or eat away at the rubbers. Usually it only happens on cheaper plastics, but it's better safe than sorry, and even if you wipe down after trying to get the overspray, it's really easy to miss a spot. The mist can go anywhere in the interior, so to avoid that, spray it directly in your microfiber, do your pass, and then flip to a new side on your towel or get a separate towel and go over it with O&R. Rinse away the ISO, get the edges where the trim and the rubber meets the glass, and then you can go on to your drying stage. As you can see here, I did all those steps on the first half of the driver's side, and then I went around and then I did the passenger side. ISO, O&R, and then a dry wipe. I have a white cotton fiber cloth that I use to dry. Originally, I wasn't able to get much shots of water running down the glass, so it's kind of hard to see how that oily residue was really obscuring things in the beginning, but there's obviously a difference after this quick glass clean. Visibility is a key factor when you're driving, so you have to keep it clean. At least once a month, try and go through and use a glass cleaner on both the inside and the outside. As we do a quick walk around outside, comparing it to our before video, there is a distinct difference, and I'm very sure that my customer is going to be happy. Now that all the oily residue is gone, they will have clear vision and they won't be scared for their safety. This has been Baseline Fresh. Remember to leave a like and subscribe, and comment down below what your favorite type of content is, and I'll try to make more in the future. Thank you.